A very good morning to you and welcome to Prime Media TV. My name is Moses and welcome to the newspaper review where we'll be reading top newspaper headlines for the 7th of December 2023. And first, we'll go for a quick break and when we come back, we'll begin the show. Don't go away. Welcome back to Prime Media TV and newspaper review for the 7th of December 2023. First, we'll begin with Vanguard this morning that says Kaduna village bombing not by mistake, said by Sheun Sani. Kaduna village bombing not by mistake, says Sheun Sani, a former senator representing Kaduna Central. Shehu said the recent bombing of a crowd celebrating Maulud in Tundunbiri village of Igabi, local government area of Kaduna State, did not happen by mistake. Sani stated this in an interview on Trust TV on Wednesday. Recalled that over 90 people were killed and many others injured in the Sunday night airstrikes by the Nigerian army, which described the shelling as accidental and targeted at bandits. Speaking on the development, the human rights activists described the tragedy as a grave act of negligence by the government and the government must take seriously. He said it is important that the public understand the context and concept of what is happening in Kaduna as far as security issues are concerned in the last few years. Almost about 70% of the state has been battling cases of banditry and terrorist attacks. Southern Kaduna is a well-known case when it comes to issues of attacks by bandits and their unholy activities. The central part of Kaduna, that's Biringwari and Igabi, where this incident happened, and Giwa local government, there have been a history of serious attacks. NDA was attacked, School of Forestry was attacked, airport quarters was attacked. All of this happened in the same local government. In all of these attacks, there has never been an accident where these terrorists were arrested and killed or in any way neutralized. So this bombing at Tundumbiri could be said to be a serious negligence. It is a village, and whatever device you're using, whether humans or drones, crowds of people were celebrating within the center of the village, and a statement that came from the army was contradictory. First, they said it was a mistake. And secondly, they were justifying it with the fact that there were bandits or terrorists they were pursuing, and so they carried the attacks there. But there's no law that permits them to go after a bandit as long as he has crossed over to a civilian area, even if bandits are embedded in the civilian quarters. You have to take precautions and take cognizance of the loss of lives that your operations can result in. So as far as I'm concerned, going by the history of this kind of things, if they were cautious, this wouldn't have happened. If they worked with intelligence, this couldn't have happened. Now it's left for the government at both federal and state levels to take action to prevent further occurrence. But we have a history of this happening, and the reasons they have been given a more likely justification. So there's no way this was a mistake. On to the next scene. It says 2024 budget way too small to Nigeria. Nigeria needs budget, bigger budget, and that's on channels. The Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, says the 27.5 trillion naira 2024 budget estimates awaiting approval at the National Assembly is way too small to meet Nigeria's needs, but the government has to cut its coat according to its clothes. I'm always first to acknowledge that the budget of the federal government of Nigeria is way too small relative to our needs and our requirements, but it is now a case of cutting out coat according to our clothes rather than our size. Akabweze said on Channels Television's Politics Today program on Wednesday, the reason this budget, The reason this budget are this small is because our public revenues are also too small. We also need to keep the focus on that. The next on the scene says major talks. PDP, NNPP, SDP, four others form coalition. The People's Democratic Party, the New Nigerian People's Party, and five other political parties have formed a coalition involved in a coalition at the African Democratic Congress, ADC, the Allied People's Movement, APM, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, the Young Progressive Party, YPP, and the Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. The movement tagged the Coalition of Concerned Political Parties, CCPP, was formed in Abuja yesterday at a meeting attended by leaders of the 7 political parties at the National Secretariat of the SDP. A former vice president and presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, had last month asked the opposition parties to come together to wrestle power from the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Speaking when he hosted the National Executive Committee of the Inter-Party Advisory Council Nigeria, IPAC, on his house on November 14th, Atiku had warned against the likelihood of Nigeria slipping to a one-party state and asked the opposition to close ranks. The other two leading opposition parties, the Labour Party and the NNPP, has said the call ought to be given quality consideration. It's not a merger, CCPP clarifies. Addressing journalists after the meeting of the 7 political parties, the chairman of the SDP, Shehu Gabam, clarified that the coalition is neither a merger nor was against the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. Also speaking at the meeting, the acting national secretary of the PDP, Setonji Kishodo, who represented the acting party's national chairman, Umar Damagum, explained this coalition wants to offer strong opposition for the good of Nigeria. Our duty is to offer alternative solutions to government policies. On this part, the national chairman of the ADC, Chief Ralph Nwosu, said the idea behind the coalition is to strengthen our democracy. We have seen rather that people in government are trying to stiffen viable opposition. Equally, the national chairman of the APM, Yusuf Dantale, said there were other parties in the coalition that were not at the meeting. Apart from Gaban, Keshodo, Nwosu, and Dantale, other representatives of the political parties present at the event were the acting national chairman of the NNPP, Abakawu Ali, the national publicity secretary of the YPP, Egbeola Martins, and the national secretary of ZLP on the immediate demands of new coalition. Gabam said the coalition urged the judiciary to strengthen their conviction towards delivering judgments that can stand the test of time, making reference to the recent judgment of the Court of Appeal on Zamfara, Nasarawa, Kano, and Plateau states, where the candidates of the coalition members lost out to the candidates of the ruling party, APC. Coalition also expressed concern over insecurity in this country, stating that it was getting worse. They also urged the National Assembly to review and rejig the 2024 budget, lamenting that Nigeria was operating a theoretical budget and not an operational budget. But Kaduna bombing error won't deter fight against terrorism, Defense Minister says. Abuja, Minister of State for Defense Dr. Mohammed Bello Matawalan Marudin has said that the Army's bombing error at Tundunbiri in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State, which led to the death of no fewer than 100 persons, will not affect the war against banditry and terrorism. The army had mistaken the villagers for bandits. Bello spoke during a condolence visit to the victims in Kaduna while leading a high-level federal government delegation, which included the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Kana, among others. The minister spoke as death toll of the bombing error rose to 127, with the United Nations deploring the sad incident, while a civil society group, the Building Blocks for Peace Foundation, BB for Peace sought a comprehensive revamp of the nation's security architecture, expressing the federal government's condolences to the victims of the mishap. Matawale said that despite the unfortunate incident, the fight against insurgency and terrorism must continue. And the last but not the least says smugglers using fake presidential number plates, others says custom. The Controller General Nigeria Customs Services Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone B Kaduna, Mr. Chedi Wada, has lamented that smugglers have been using fake presidential number plates to deliver vehicles across the country. According to Wada, they have also been dubiously using fake number plates belonging to various state and local governments, MDAs, emirate councils, and other governmental institutions. Wada disclosed this when he received Bashar Rabe Mani, Zonal Manager, News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, Kaduna Zonal Office, who paid him a courtesy call in Kaduna. He said customs will not relent and will continue to do its best by not allowing smugglers to use the old tactics of using the presidential number plates and other governmental institutions to smuggle luxurious vehicles into the country. This is one of the menaces we are having. It is saddening how vehicle smugglers are ridiculing the apex seats in the country for using presidential fake plate numbers on newly smuggled cars to deceive customs. According to him, customs are well-trained personnel who can easily identify fake numbers and cannot be played by the old tricks. The controller said, "We are not happy with them. It is too bad for them to be playing with the presidency. That's why we always put a heavy hammer on those using the presidency in false instances on smuggled vehicles." He says they will be dealt with very, very squarely. And that's the newspaper review for the 7th of December 2023. Join us in the next hour for more content. My name is Moses, but before then we'd like to introduce you to our platform remi.com.ng for the ordering of your gadgets, ordering of kitchen utensils, accessories, clothing, and all kinds of objects. You can get it on our website. Just log on to www.remi.com.ng for those in Nigeria and those overseas, remi.com. And you can also get it on Play Store and Apple Store. Just type Remi app. You can also register as a seller and a buyer. Just log on to our site and do the necessary registrations. If your product is authentic and genuine, then we could approve you to be a seller to sell at the comfort of your home. Just log on to www.remi.com.ng. And delivery takes within Lagos 3 to 5 working days, and also outside Lagos 3 to 7 working days. And that's the much we can bring to you on Prime Media TV. Subsequent content will be brought to you as the day goes by. Thank you so much and have a wonderful week ahead.